Hello again, this is 14 Silver X, and this is lesson 5, I believe, of our tutorial on making our scrolling shooter game. Alright, so last time we did lives and losing lives, and I showed you a bit of graphic stuff. I just changed 2 of them for now. And so now we're going to make another enemy that's of a higher level than both of our enemy, or more challenging, and then I'll show you how to make them come out at separate intervals of our game. So first, let's make our new, more advanced enemy. Alright, so you make a sprite, give it a name. It's going to be the same size and just a little bit darker of a red. If you can call that right, I guess. In a general term, alright, so there's our new enemy sprite. And I'm going to duplicate, because it's going to have the same properties as our enemy 1, except it's just going to be a bit more advanced. So I duplicated it, and now I changed the name. And it's going to have a higher rate of fire. And since it's harder, we should earn more points from it. And now our enemy creator has to create it. So I'm going to duplicate this. And this one is going to be traveling faster than the others. There's a new one. That's the old one. I changed the enemy sprite for their shot. Oops. Oh wow, I figured something out. If you press the Alt key, you can pause your game. Well, look at that. Alright, now we can't run into our new enemy yet, so, and also, I think somebody who's not subscribed pointed this out, but if you notice with our space rocks, when they appear, they are standing still, so they are going the speed we are going, which is how we want it to be. But our enemy 1, it looks, if you think about it, if they're going the same speed as the background, they're basically standing still, where our newer enemy looks like they're actually moving. So we're going to change that so it looks like that our enemies are moving, but our space rocks are still standing still. So what we have to do is you have to open your enemy creator, go to enemy 1, and change that to 11, or a number higher than what you have it already. So now, see, they're moving a bit more, so it actually makes it look like they're coming down towards us. Now, so in player 1, we have to duplicate this event for enemy 2, and since enemy 2 is going faster, they're going to hit us harder. So they're going to do a bit more damage to us. Alright, so now we're going to have these enemies come out in intervals, because we don't want it so that when we start off the game, all these advanced enemies appear, because that would just be overwhelming, and that would make the game a little bit less fun unless you like it that challenging, where it really depends. But we're going to put it in intervals, so the farther you go, the harder it gets, so it's more challenging, and kind of make the game more enjoyable. So, if we open our enemy creator, these are all created basically once the game starts, and we want that to happen like on separate intervals. Alright, so I'm going to create a new variable in our control variable, and I'm just going to call it enemy. And I'm going to set it to 1. So the way I'm going to think of this is that right now in the game, I'm allowing it to spawn our enemy 1, or actually enemy 0, which is the space rock, because enemy 1. So right now, at the start of the game, it will spawn enemy 0, or the space rock. So here, larger than 0. So remember, larger than does not include the number here. So larger than 0 will include 1. So when our enemy is 1 or larger, it's telling us that we can now create enemy 1. So that means since our enemy is 0, which is not larger than 0, right now it would only create this and this. So we're going to copy, paste, and this means if enemy is 2 or larger, now our enemy 2 comes out. Alright, so now we have to continuously increment these values. And so what we have to do, when we create in our main 2, there's a set alarm. And alarm 0, I'm going to have to play around with this. I'm going to set it to 500 for now. Alright, so set alarm 0 to 500. If we add an event, alarm 0, because remember we'll set off alarm 0, here in our control, set variable, this will increment our enemy by 1 every 500 steps or milliseconds, whatever it is. So, and then what we need to do is it needs to reset itself so it can just keep on adding it on. So now with this in place, now only our space rocks are appearing, and no other enemies are appearing at the moment. That's creating it a bit too fast if you really think about it. And finally, after 500 steps, our next enemy comes out. So that's good. And then the game gets a bit harder. Now waiting. And finally, our enemy 2 appears. Very good, very good. Alright. So I'm going to play around with these values a little bit. Okay, now let's continue to work more on graphics, because we basically have the standard of our game really done. So, spaceship. Now here, I'm going to draw something real quick, so I'm going to pause it. So go ahead and draw something you want, and then I can show you some of the few animation techniques that I actually know. So go ahead and draw your spaceship, whatever. I'm going to quickly draw mine, and then we'll continue after that. Alright, so here is my spaceship, maybe, I guess you can call it. Alright, so what would really make my spaceship look awesome, besides a better job of drawing, is to add some like flame effects so that I sort of have an engine going. I can't see that. Not much better. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to draw a little flame sort of thing. Like that. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Get it a little different color and put it in the middle there. Copy and paste. And there's a grid tool right here so you can get more precise. It's going to get a little bigger somehow. I guess like that. Use dropper. Little yellow. And put some red particles. Alright, so if you look here, and you can cut that one. Our ship has sort of a cool looking pattern to it, and I guess we can copy and paste that. Alright, so I'm actually happy how that turned out. So if you're on the game, yeah, that looks sort of nice. Alright, so now my spaceship looks a bit cooler. I'll have to mess around with that later. Make the health bar a bit smaller because that looks a bit big. There we go. Alright, next I'm going to do our good old space rock. Alright, so with our space rock, like if you know an asteroid, they sort of like spin, sort of, I guess, somehow, commonly in games. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sort of a circle. That, and trying to get the right color of brown because it's not really exist in the standard colors there. No, that. Then I get my pencil tool, little stuff there. Bit of a darker brown to make some sort of crater. Oops. No, that's fine. I'm going to try to center it a bit more. Oh, that looks horrible. So in the animation tab up here, there's a rotation sequence. I'm going to do clockwise. So I want it to rotate 360 degrees. Let's go 10 frames. Oh, my sprite looks horrible. So you get the picture. But I don't know if you want it. You see what I did there. Okay. Run the game. And there goes our space rock. Oh, that's disgusting. But it works. Alright, now for our enemy 1. That's not going to have like a cool looking ship because it's just the level 1 enemy. So it's going to be pretty basic, grunt-like. There we go. So you can quickly draw that. Alright, there's my piece of trash. God. I'm gonna have to... This is what I have to work on, not just programming. My goodness. Alright, so I'm gonna add some flames to this piece of trash. Alright, there's our despicable enemy one. This is why we want to destroy them, because they look disgusting. Die, you disgusting rock looking object. Oh, and by the way, if you press the function 4 key or F4, you get full screen mode thing. But if you haven't noticed, we do lose our score tab. You can't really fix the screen anyway. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to save your game, and hopefully you're a better drawer than I am. If my drawings offend you or my comments on bad drawings offend you, don't take them personally. It bothers me when it's not symmetrical unless it needs to look non-symmetrical. But if you do take offense to it, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing now. I am truthfully sorry. So yeah, next time I will show you how to, when we shoot other enemies, we can make them explode, and when we die we can explode, and we'll do all those graphics next episode. So thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to save your game and please subscribe.